Hey everybody, Jen Hatmaker here, your host of the For the Love podcast. Welcome to the show, because right now we are in a series called For the Love of Broadway. Oh, y'all. You know how much I've loved and adored this series so far, right? I love Broadway. I think you know that about me at this point. It's so special to me. I've been going to shows for years and years and years and years. And so this series is just jam-packed with like the best of the best. And you guys, today is no exception. You're going to be so glad that you are listening to this podcast. I'm going to call it right now, that you're going to be like, you know what? She was right. One thing I have just loved in the series is sitting down with these performers, like getting into like the nitty gritty of their dreams and their experiences and their debuts and their rehearsals and their auditions. It's like seeing behind the curtain, literally, in a way that is so fascinating to me. What drives them, what moves them, what inspires them. And you guys today, guys, I've got the cutest, sweetest, most Today, I am talking with actor Brandon McCall. So let me tell you about Brandon. He's from Birmingham, Alabama. He got his BA in theater from Alabama State University. And now, to be sure, he has starred in some pretty big productions. Like he's been in Smokey Joe's Cafe. He was in Dreamgirls. He was Sebastian in The Little Mermaid at the Red Mountain Theater in Birmingham. But this is a really, really big deal, you guys. Brandon has leaped and hopped his way right over to the New York stage, where he is starring as Simba in The Lion King. I'm so tickled because I just finished the interview with him, and it's so fun to listen to his progress here. So anyway, can you imagine how exciting it is? And I know that this is coming out a little bit later, but you'll hear us talk about it. So the jig is up here, but this is the week that Broadway opened when he and I recorded this. We opened it the week Broadway came back to the stage. So today in real world, in recording world, it's Thursday. His debut, the night that Broadway reopened again, was Tuesday, 2 days ago. So not only is he having the biggest moment of his career, but it is during a week when Broadway is just absolutely electric with excitement and energy. It's back after a year and a half. So, I mean, the amount of chills, I have so much chills. So exciting. So talking to him today was so fun because he is flying high. He's like fresh on his like energy and adrenaline, and plus he's darling. For those of you if you ever want to watch the podcast instead of just listen to it, we record them all, and they're over on my YouTube channel because he is so cute. So he looks 14, but he's 32. So this is such a fun conversation. He gives us all the inside scoop, what auditions are like, what it's like to kind of bootstrap it all the way up, and then what it felt like to debut this week on the return of Broadway. It's such a fun conversation, and you are going to fall so in love with the absolutely wonderful Brandon McCall. Okay, Brandon, welcome to the For the Love podcast. I'm so happy to meet you.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to meet you. It's definitely an honor. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
I honestly can't believe you're awake. Because as we were just talking about, your show opened this week. Broadway opened this week. Opened 2 days. Wait, are we Thursday? 2 days ago.
Yes, it's Thursday. I don't even know what today is.
I don't either. Brandon, I mean, okay, you have to just first tell me what it was like Tuesday for you, just to have the theaters full again. And there you are in this iconic role. I mean, were you even able to take it in? I'm so I wonder if you were like having an out-of-body experience.
I was, between all the interviews and press, I was able to, take in the moment every now and then. But yeah, Tuesday was crazy. And also it was my Broadway debut. So
I
that
can't.
heightened the stakes even more.
I can't handle it. I mean,
So
crazy. Broadway debut on the day Broadway comes back after a year and a half. I mean,
yes.
there is nobody will top it. Nobody.
Nobody. It's definitely an experience that you can't explain. It's an experience you have to experience for yourself.
Totally. Totally.
Like,
So
I can't find the words to justify it, you know?
I believe you. I was, I just told you I was in the audience of Wicked on Tuesday also for their debut, or I guess it was Wednesday
Right.
for them. And no, I guess it was Tuesday. And I can't talk about it. I can't hardly figure out how to explain what it felt like to see those curtains raise again and
Yeah.
see everybody come out in their, I have chills. How did you feel I mean, I'm sure you could hear everybody just like buzzing and humming, of course. Like, were you prepared for the pandemonium? Because did everybody lose it in your theater too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone lost it when the curtain went up and Rafiki did her call for Circle of Life.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know, a football stadium almost. Like, you would have thought like your favorite football team just scored the touchdown or just won the Super Bowl. Like, it was
so
that
real.
crazy, that loud. Everyone had masks on, so I can only imagine how loud it would have been if the masks were off.
Totally.
Like, crazy.
And it went on and on and on, right? Like over in Gershwin Theater, nobody could say their lines. Like everybody, the orchestra's like, hold.
Yes.
Nobody could get to it because nobody would calm down. Nobody had any chill.
We had that moment. It was a moment where Nala and I finished our fight.
Yeah.
And we're stuck in this position and we're here for like 30 seconds. Because everyone's
totally.
like, all right. It was awesome though. It was bananas.
Oh, I'm so excited for you. I'm so happy for you. And so now you start that Broadway grind. I mean, here it goes. I mean, it is a pace unlike almost any career I can think of. You have to like seriously fuel your mind and body to keep it up, I'm sure. Now, I know you're just in your first week here, but you've also been in rehearsals. So do you run a tight operation now from here on out?
Yes, I have to.
Yeah.
Warming up the voice, the body, drinking tons of water.
Tons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It takes a lot. 8 shows a week. 2 shows on Saturday and Sunday. Like, you have to take care of your body.
Yes,
I can't stress that enough. You have to take care of your body and your voice, your instrument. You have to. There's no other way.
I learned that is why the sort of the cast right behind the lead cast, all of your what is the word I'm just losing? Not standby. Yeah.
We do have standbys. So there's standbys, there's covers or understudy,
There's all the words. They're important because at some point people start going down. It takes a toll, and that is a real important part of the cast is how can we make sure the show always goes on. Okay, so let's go back earlier. I'm sorry, I could not wait to start talking to you about this week. But for I've told my listeners kind of a high level about you, and but for everyone here listening who's new to you and new to your work, can you just go back a little bit and talk about kind of who you are, what your personal deal is, and the path to where you got just to today?
Awesome. Yeah. Hey guys, I'm Brandon McCall. I started acting when I was 12. I probably started singing when I was 6 or 7. But yeah, I went to Alabama State University, as you stated, got my degree in theater, went to Sacramento B Street and did a actor intensive there. And I got my equity card there as well. Then after that, I had to go back home and get married because I had proposed to my wife right before I left for Sacramento. So I
I'd have a little minute to go home and get married.
Right. So had to go back home, get married,
Yep.
and stayed home for a while and had to find my bearings again. And I started performing with Red Mountain Theater and did a ton of shows there. And that's where I met my manager, who, pretty much got me into the auditions for The Lion King.
You did it. You made it. Okay. I have a bunch of questions about everything you just said. I want to start here. Way back at the beginning, back when you were just a kid, I'm curious if there was a front door into your passion for singing and acting. Like, what were you watching? What were you listening to? Did you see something? Was there any sort of catalyst where you were like, that is the thing, I'm going to do that. Like, I'm going to follow that unlikely path, like all the way eventually to Broadway.
Right. I started singing very young. But at that age, you don't know what to do with it. You just know that
you're just going to sing in church.
Right. Yeah. That's it. Mommy puts you up there and she's like, okay, go do the solo. And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
So, I was singing in church. And then, around the age of 12 is when I got into acting. I already knew I could dance. That was a thing. But all of it was just hobbies, like things I like to do.
Sure, of course. You're just a kid.
Right. So, turned 12. My mom wants to keep me out of trouble. She goes to work in the summer. So she's like, you're not going to stay in my house all day. You got to find something to do. And there was this theater troupe, JCCEO Yes Ambassadors, back in Birmingham that she allowed me to audition for. Well, made me audition for. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And she heard about the audition from a friend. And so, went into the audition, did my song, monologue, dance, and got a call back. So by this time I have no idea what to expect. All I know is my mom made me come to this thing.
Sure.
Give me something to do during the summer. And went in there, got the call back. First day of rehearsal, we're doing the table read. I'm like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool. The director sees me and this other guy, and we look alike. Like, we look like brothers. And so she specifically wrote a part for us.
Oh.
And the JCCO Yes Ambassadors would do shows that dealt with, issues that youth would deal with. So all our shows were for youth. In this particular show, we were talking about the exit exam that, seniors have to take in order to, move on and graduate. So it was the show was about that, all the anxiety and the stress that comes with taking those tests. So it dealt with all that. And me and my friend became the mascots of this high school. So the director wrote this part just for us, and we became the Red Devils. So everywhere we went, we were the little Red Devils.
Oh my goodness.
Every time we came out, the crowd would just go crazy.
Yeah.
And so when that happened, 12-year-old boys were like,
oh yeah.
Oh,
wait a minute. Yes.
I like it.
Totally.
So I did that from the age of 12 all the way to 18.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, it became a passion, doing this every year for, 6 or 7 years.
Sure.
And I'll never forget my senior year, my ninth grade history teacher, she was asking me, what do you want to do? What are you going to school for? I said, at this time I want to be a pediatrician. I was like, I'll go for biology. And she said, okay, good. Because I didn't think the acting thing would work for you. I said, whoa, wait a minute.
Totally.
So that moment I said,
yeah,
okay, thanks. Walked off from her, went to my counselor, changed my major to theater that day.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a thing. You cannot tell me what I can do. You cannot tell me what I can't be.
No,
I'm gonna go against it.
Yeah, you are.
And do what I feel like I was purposed to do.
Right. And Brandon, who's laughing now? Right? I want to call her right now. I want her on the phone and be like, you need to do better. You need to do better.
But in a weird way, like, I thank her, because if it wasn't for her comment, I probably would have still tried to follow that path of being a pediatrician, and I would have loved it because I love kids, have two of my own. So, you know, it
Oh
would have
no,
been
you're
nice,
doing what
but
you're meant to do. You followed the right
exactly,
path.
exactly.
We're dying to hear about your whole audition process for Lion King, like from beginning, like when your manager said, I'm going to send you to Lion. I mean, it's iconic. It's
Right.
the Lion King. I just would love to hear, what were you thinking? What were you feeling? What was the audition process like? Because that's a whole deal. It's
Of
just a
course.
whole deal. And like, take us through it.
Yeah. So met my manager through Red Mount Theater. She came to see my show, The Little Mermaid. I was playing Sebastian.
Yeah.
And so she was like, yeah, you're great. You're great. And I think around this time I was maybe 24, 25.
Yeah.
And she usually represents, artists that are younger. She was like, you have the face, you have the physique. Like you could go for 17, 18 years old. I still can, I believe.
Yeah. You look, you look like I should drive you to high school.
Oh God. And I'm 32. It's crazy. It's crazy. I do not look 32. I really don't.
Do not.
Some days I wish I did.
Oh no. You're gonna get carded for the next 20 years.
Oh, next 20 years.
Yes.
Crazy. So yeah, she said, well, let's do a trial run. I'll manage you for a little bit and see how it goes. I said, of course, I would love that. And 2017 comes around, and that's my first time auditioning for The Lion King. And I was like, wait, who? What?
Yeah.
For The Lion King? She was like, yeah. And it's Simba. Okay.
I can't handle the world.
Whoa, rewind. So the first Broadway show that I saw was The Lion King. 2000.
No way.
Yes, Birmingham, Alabama. It was the touring company. Yes. So like we're talking about full circle of life. So yes, 2017, I go audition, and the casting director's like, you have the potential. And I did the song, and of course, that song, Endless Night, is
all of us can sing it by heart. Like it's so special to kind of the cultural vernacular. Like
yes. Yes, but as an artist, it's so tough to tell that story,
Yeah.
Everyone can relate to it, but when an artist gets on that stage and has to actually tell the story through song, it can be a little tough.
Yes, I'm sure.
And I went in, he was like, you can sing it, but I need you to tell the story. I need you to feel it. And I did the scene, and he was like, okay, wait. He's like, you know what? Do the scene again, and then I'll tell you my comment. So I did the scene again, and he was like, you're good. He was like, I wish you would have done the scene. No, I wish you would have done the song like you did the scene, because I can see the story. I can see where you're going. I can see, I see the thought process. You're telling the story, He was like, man, you have the potential. I'll tell you what, I'll, later down the line, we'll bring you back in. He was like, but, go work on these things, work on telling the story, work on relating to it, work on being Simba,
Whoa.
So I had a lot to take in on that day. But as he said, he kept his word. My manager even told me, she was like, hey, they're going to call you back in to audition. So just be ready. And sure enough, 2018 rolls around. And I go in again. And this time I make it all the way to the dance call, the final call. And they kept 3 guys back. I was not one of the 3 guys. But the experience was so amazing. You had all these young Black men in this one room, and by this time Black Panther had just came out. So we're all like,
you're up in the rafters.
Forever,
right?
Like,
Totally.
Forever. We are in it, supporting each other.
And, it's so good.
This industry can be very competitive.
Sure.
But in that moment, everyone was supporting each other.
That's
We
awesome.
did the dance like one by one, and it was, everybody was cheering each other on, like, no, you got it, you got it. We had one guy that kind of messed up his foot. It was like, no, you're doing this again. Go get yourself straight. You got this. Like,
good.
It was amazing. The energy, everything, the experience, the best audition experience I've ever had.
Wow.
And so even not staying back to, talk with the creatives, felt like I won. You know? I didn't leave that place with my head down. My head was up. I told my manager, I was like, hey, this was amazing. No, I did not get the part, but I said, this was amazing. She was like, okay. She was like, well, guess what? They're going to call you back again.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it. Sure enough. Didn't go in for another audition. It was a couple months later, and they needed a replacement for the ensemble. And one of the guys was leaving to, chase other dreams. And my manager calls me and she's like, hey, so Lion King wants you, and they want you in the ensemble and to understudy Simba. And I was like, wow. Silence. She was like, wow. I was like, yes, I'm here. I'm here. Gosh. She was like, okay, great. I was like, wow. Like, so what do you think? I was like, yes, like, let's do this. And by this time, I forgot that I was totally in another contract to do In the Heights in Hartford, Connecticut. Yeah, I was cast as Benny to do In the Heights. Wow. And my manager was like, okay, so we need to make a call. Yep. And see how can we, navigate through this. Yeah. And I got in touch with the artistic director. It took all day. Like, I was sending emails, no response. And finally, like later that night, my manager is like emailing me like, hey, we need to give Disney an answer. And I'm like, do you really have to say it like that? Do you have to say Disney? Like, can you bring it down a little bit?
Drop that right out of your mouth. Like, yes.
And I was like, okay. And I'm like, I don't want to keep bugging this guy because I'm asking him to let me out of this show. Like, literally, I was going to fly out. I think my manager called me either a Thursday or Friday. I was supposed to fly out Monday to start rehearsals for this show.
No wonder they were ignoring your emails.
Like, oh my God. But later that night, the guy emailed me. He was like, what? Are you serious? Like, no, go have fun.
Oh.
Get me a ticket. He was like, man, I was trying to catch you before you became a star. He was like, I was trying to get you on stage before you became a star. And he was like, man, go have
That's
fun.
Great.
He was like, this is, once in a lifetime.
It's a dream. And,
I definitely owe him.
I didn't think the story was going that way. I love to hear that.
Yes. And we actually had the show in Hartford, Connecticut, and I was trying to get in touch with him. I did. I was like, hey, I want you to come to the show. I'll buy your ticket, whatever. Like, I want to pay you for that. And he was busy. He's an artistic director.
Sure.
He had his own stuff going on. But I plan on whenever he's in the area to like.
So great.
Like, hey, I'm glad I'm talking about this. I need to email him. Like,
okay, good. I'll follow up with you. Make sure you do it. I'll be your accountability partner.
Today.
That's fantastic. It feels like to me, and this is just, I'm completely guessing at this, but to some degree, the theater community is just, it's so niche. It's such a small, specialized community that I would think in large, you're pretty much cheering each other on, obviously with a lot of competitiveness built in. This is part of the deal. You're all going for the same roles. Right. But even between the managers and the whole crew, it just feels like I'd love to hear that he was like, go chase it. Like, go live your dream. You deserve it. I knew it. I saw it in you. Tried to catch you by the tail, but it's too late. The fall season is officially here. And what that means to me is this. Football is on in our house every weekend. This time of year also means I'm in the kitchen making all my favorite cozy, comforting things because football and cooking just go together for me. Some of my go-to recipes for fall football, or really anytime, honestly, are brisket tacos, my famous no recipe roast chicken, and of course, the best beef bourguignon you've ever tasted, and burgers, of course. But let me tell you, Butcher Box is really my MVP when it comes to all of this cooking and more. They deliver the highest quality meat and seafood frozen at peak freshness right to your front doorstep with no shipping charges. With Butcher Box, you can choose from 4 different curated boxes or a custom box where you pick all your own things. Everything from grass-fed and finished beef and free-range organic chicken to humanely raised pork or wild-caught fish, more. Each box has 9 to 11 pounds of goodness, and you also choose your own delivery frequency. I just placed another Butcher Box order, and this time I did a beef and chicken box. It's heavy on the ground beef, a chuck roast for that beef burgundy, a whole chicken, and beef brisket, of course. Now, here's what you really need to know. For a limited time, Butcher Box is giving new members 2 pounds of free ground beef in every order for life. This is your chance to never, ever have to shop for ground beef again. Like, this is a no-brainer, you guys. Sign up at butcherbox.com/forthelove and get 2 pounds of ground beef free in every single order for the life of your membership. Log on to butcherbox.com/forthelove to claim this awesome deal. So I would love to hear how your experience in Lion King was in the ensemble and as the understudy. Like, you must have just been drinking from a fire hose, what you were learning.
Yes.
I mean,
and it started on the tour. So, like, it's a little easier being on Broadway because, you're in one theater.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
Right. On tour, I'm going from city to city, trying to figure out how to, get my family to visit. Because at this time, it's my wife and my now 4-year-old.
Yeah.
At the time, she was 2. No, I left for the tour like 4 or 5 days after her first birthday.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So I was there for her birthday party. And I think I left.
Yeah.
Her birthday
Right
party was
after.
Saturday. I left like that Monday or
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how long is tour?
Tours year round, like
Yeah.
forever.
Like, I mean, how long do you contract to be on tour? Or is there just like no end to it?
Oh, in ensemble, yeah, it's an open-ended contract.
Got it.
As a principal, I think they do a year-by-year contract.
Okay.
And, many people stay on the tour for years.
Yeah.
You come in, do your job, and you're great,
Sure.
and you want to stay, then, you just keep getting renewed.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a thing. Like,
so what happened? What happened? You're on tour.
Mm-hmm.
You're understudy.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened? What happened from that to next?
So yeah, understudy in the ensemble, and Jared Dixon, who is now playing Aaron Burr in Hamilton.
Oh yeah, nice.
Philip tour, I think he's on.
Uh-huh.
But, he was the Simba at the time.
Okay.
And decided he wanted to, go out and chase other dreams.
Sure.
And he did. And he
sure did. Got it.
And so there was an opening, an opportunity.
Yeah.
And this time is crazy because I didn't have to ask to audition. It was like email to my manager from, the creatives in Disney, producer, general manager. Hey, we want Brandon to audition.
Of course.
They flew me out. We were in Canada. They flew me out to New York, put me in a hotel. This is for an audition.
Yeah.
This doesn't
happen that's special.
a lot for auditions,
Yeah, that's special.
Like, usually you're paying your own travel, your own housing, your lodging, like all of that. They put me in a hotel, got me a flight. I go in, audition for the creatives, and they're like, okay, good. Like, love it. Mark Brandon, casting director, walks me out. He was like, that was everything it needed to be. It was like, hey, we'll be in touch in a week to let you know, how we move forward. I said, cool. I'm in New York, so I'm like, I'm gonna go see a Broadway show. Why not?
Sure.
I go see Ain't Too Proud.
Yeah.
Oh, so amazing.
Amazing.
Phenomenal. So amazing. Great show. I go see Ain't Too Proud, get on the plane, head back to Canada. Mind you, they told me it'll be a week before they reach back down. Not even an hour or two walking back into, my apartment in Canada, I get an email. Hey, you got the part, basically.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, we want you to be our Simba on tour. It was amazing. ABC. And in that moment, I
Wow.
was like, what?
What?
So I called my wife, we're
Oh
screaming, going
gosh.
crazy,
Mm,
crying.
yeah.
Then I called my mom and my sister,
Yeah.
and the joke was, um, I picked up and I said, "Hey, this is Simba," because they knew I was
Ah,
auditioning.
yes,
I was
good.
like, "Hey, this is Simba." And they was like, "Okay," because they knew I was understudying Simba. So they,
Sure.
I was like, "No, this is Simba." And they was like, "You got it." So that was that moment, and
Goosebumps.
yeah. So going to
Mm,
rehearsals, my first show as Simba on tour was October 20th in Boston,
yeah,
and and it was nice. And then of
I
course,
bet it was.
the
Look.
pandemic, and
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, totally.
but
So that was
yeah,
short. That was a short one. Did you say,
yeah.
when did you say that was? November of like 2019?
Um, October 2019, and then
Yeah.
we
So you
shut
only
down.
had 6 months, really.
Yeah, we shut down in March. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And now you are on Broadway. It's the top rung. It's the very
like
top rung.
yeah. You can't make this up.
Yeah. Okay, so
Cannot make this
you
up.
live in New York now. What's happening with your family? Like being the wife of a Broadway performer, I just can only imagine. She's just got to be flexible. Flexible.
Oh,
Guess what? We live in New York now.
right. She's
Yeah.
basking in the moment. They're still in Alabama right now.
Okay.
We still have a lot of responsibility there.
Sure.
We have a home there. She's
Yeah.
working there. She's a
Of course.
director of a
Oh,
private school. So,
yeah.
she's running the school. My 4-year-old also attends the school. So,
Hmm.
there's a whole nother life there.
Yeah.
Um, and family ties to the school as well. Her dad
Mm.
founded the church that the school is under.
Mm.
So,
Yeah. Deep
dad
roots.
passed. Yeah, deep
Yeah.
roots. Dad passed in 97. Mom took
Mm.
over. Mom passed in 2018. And so now it's her and her brother,
Yep.
figuring these things out and keeping that legacy alive. So
Mm.
there's a lot of responsibility and a
Sure.
lot of family ties. Yeah, deep
Of
roots
course. Yeah, that's
that's still
special.
there.
That's
So
home too.
you know,
So,
and she supports me in everything I do. So I can't do anything but support her in that.
of course.
But they would definitely visit a lot. She was at my debut, so
She
you
had to have
know,
been.
I couldn't ask for anything more. Like to have her there the day before and the day of, the day after, like I really needed her here. Like she
Of
kept me
course you did.
sane. She
Yeah.
kept me calm,
Yeah.
and it was
She must have
amazing.
cried the whole time.
Oh,
I just
we
would.
both did.
I bet she just fell apart. Were you so nervous, or were you? How did you feel?
Felt great because she
Yeah.
was here. You
Yeah.
know,
Okay. That's good.
if she
She
wasn't
anchored
here,
you down.
yeah, she
Mm.
definitely did in every moment.
Mm.
I remember like getting an email. Someone was asking to do the interview like right before,
Yeah.
the show, and they was like, "We just need 15 minutes." I'm like,
No, bro, read the room.
I was
I'm
like,
about to
I
go
have,
on. No.
I have like 3 or 4 other interviews I have to do today, and I just want a moment to kind of like relax. And she was like, "Okay, we'll say no. It's okay to say no."
Yeah.
And I was like, "I don't want to." She was like, "It's okay." She
Yes.
was like, you have to look out for yourself right now. She was
Yeah.
like, mental health is a thing. She's like, you
Totally.
have to look out for your mental. If you need the space, take the
Yep.
space. You have every right to do so.
Hmm.
And so, I told him, I was like, hey, I can't do it.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. And I was like, hey, if there's another time, then let's do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah,
that's
but
somebody who loves you. Because, of course, everybody who's primarily just attached to you via your career is going to be
yeah.
like, you can do it. Just run
Hmm.
the gauntlet. Run the gauntlet of
Hmm.
interviews. You got enough in the tank. But the people who
Right.
love you most are able to
Yeah.
say, hard no right now. Like
Yes.
you need to just sit and like be in your body and be in
Right.
your like soul and get ready for this huge night. And
Yeah.
I'm so happy that you did that and that it was special for you. I'm so glad she was there.
Yeah.
And so I guess she'll just come back and forth when she can, right? And you
Yes.
too.
Yes, definitely. I actually go home next weekend
Yeah.
to be in a friend's wedding. So, that'll be nice to go home
It will.
and be around my family for a little bit after, these crazy 2 weeks.
But it's
So
bonkers.
yeah.
You and I cannot really adequately explain to people what it is like this week on Broadway. Like, we're in line outside and it's just spontaneous dance parties everywhere. Everyone's in costume. I don't know how it was for you, but they're showing up in costume and keeping with the show's theme and cameras everywhere, like video. It's just Broadway was absolutely electric to be on this week. And I'm just thrilled for you that not only was it your debut, but it was this Broadway is back moment, which is so special. And I don't know, you'll be telling this story when you are old and gray, of this week of your life and what it was like. So I'd love to know if you have one. Mm-hmm. As you kind of look ahead and start thinking about the next 5, 10 years, 15 years, because, Broadway has the opportunity to provide a nice long runway for an incredible career. Do you have a dream role that you would love, or a dream cast you'd love to be a part of, or a show that you're like, that would be so it for me?
Wow.
Yeah.
I really don't have a dream role on Broadway per se. Of course, it was Simba because that was the first show I saw.
Of course,
I fell in love with the Lion King. But it would be a dream role in film, and it would be the autobio of Chadwick Boseman.
It just rendered me speechless.
Yeah. I really, really would like to do that.
Ooh, let's just speak that into the world.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be really special.
Yeah. I mean, he was definitely an inspiration to so many.
Totally.
But especially to me, just the kind of actor he was, the artist.
Yeah.
And for him to play so many iconic Black figures, he did amazing work.
I know. What a loss. I
know.
It's just not fair.
It's not. It's really not.
It's not fair. I love that dream for you. Love it. That's amazing. Yeah. I just feel like that project will certainly come to pass. His life's too special not to kind of produce like that. Okay.
Even we heard it here. Even if I'm not cast, I want to make sure it's done. You know what I mean?
I like this.
The right people and make sure that hey, we need to do this.
Yeah, I like this so much.
He deserves.
Yeah.
He deserves a great autobio.
Yes, he does.
He deserves it.
Oh,
for sure.
Good one. That's a great answer. I love that. I'm so interested right now in elevating and celebrating good things. So, community, I'd like to introduce you to Able. If you're not familiar with Able, they are an ethical fashion brand that employs and empowers women as a solution to end poverty. Love. They're deeply devoted also to quality, both in the products they make and in the quality of life they aim to provide. So they invest in, train, and educate women so they can earn a living, break the cycle of poverty, and thrive. And would you believe it all started with scarves for them in Ethiopia? They met women coming out of the commercial sex industry who asked for help finding jobs. So they trained them to make scarves. And after selling over 4,000 of them in 2 months, they knew they were onto something. And now Able has grown from hand-woven scarves to a whole lifestyle brand with leather bags and clothes, shoes, jewelry, and more. I have so much of their stuff that I wear on constant rotation. I cannot say enough good things about Able. Truly, come check them out for the cause and their incredible business practices, and stay for the fashion. You can get 20% off site-wide with my code 20GEN at livefashionable.com. So that's 20GEN at livefashionable.com. Great stories are powerful, right? That's why I love this podcast. We get to hear people from all walks of life, talking about their obstacles and their wins. And you know another place we get to do that? The Jen Hatmaker Book Club. And I want you to join today, because if you love this podcast, you're going to love the book club. Here's the deal. Each month, we'll dive into a fantastic book, and we read all kinds of stuff: fiction, memoirs, self-help, all of it. Every single book is something I have read and loved, and I just know you will too. After you sign up, every month, I'll send you a box with the book and other fun treats. Plus, your membership comes with a whole slew of perks. You get resources like reading plans, weekly summaries, discussion questions. Plus, you get tons of exclusive community stuff. You get access to our private Facebook group where you can connect with me and all your fellow members. And there's a monthly Facebook Live chat session with me, and sometimes some surprise guests. Sometimes I pop into the Zoom meetings of our local chapters, which is always delightful. Plus, we do some cool stuff with the book's author. They curate these awesome Spotify playlists just for us. Plus, I record a podcast with the author or another special guest, and we talk about the book. It is an incredible way to cap it all off. And you know what makes a book club great? The people. This community is the kindest, most supportive group you can possibly imagine. So sign up today at jenhatmakerbookclub.com. We are here waiting to welcome you into the sisterhood with open arms. So join us at jenhatmakerbookclub.com today. Okay, back to our show. All right, we're gonna wrap this up. We're in a series for a Broadway series right now on the show, which is so fun. And so I'm asking all the performers these same questions. I know this is a fun one. I hope you have a good story.
Let's see.
Can you tell us about, why do I just go for the jugular? Like, can you just tell us about the moment, the worst or most hilarious or most embarrassing or most disastrous moment you ever had on stage, where you're just like, why God, why take me out? And maybe it wasn't even you, but maybe you were just there. I have no idea. You just tell me.
Right.
We love these crash and burn stories. Everybody has one.
Yes. I don't know. Okay. So there was this one time I was doing Simba on tour.
Yeah.
And there's this moment with Rafiki, and she says, "Oh, the weather, most peculiar, eh?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Line. And so she's trying to help me. She's like, "Yeah." So my line is, "Yeah, looks like the winds are changing." And I was like, yeah. She was like, "Oh, most peculiar, eh?" And I said, "Yeah." Yeah. She was like, "Yeah, the winds." And I was like, "Yeah, the clouds. They're doing something. The clouds are changing." Like, she gave me the line and I still said clouds, like it's winds. And I'm like, winds? No, that's not it. It's something else. Like, literally, what there.
Your brain just went empty. It emptied out. And I'm like, winds. The winds are the clouds. The clouds are shifting.
There's something in the air. Something out there. I don't know. That's when
that white hot adrenaline is going through your body. Like, where am I? Who Simba? What's in the clouds?
And those moments are only like usually 5-10 seconds, but it feels like it's an hour.
Totally.
Like an hour of you searching for this line. You think everybody's looking at you like, what is wrong with this guy? Everyone is just like waiting.
We lost him.
Right. It's only like 5 or 10 seconds that this.
The audience doesn't even know. Like, nobody even notices that. It's just an eternity inside your own heart.
Exactly. So yeah, like,
that's a good one.
To actually feed me the line, and I still say the wrong thing.
Something with the winds. Something with those clouds. Damn clouds. They're just getting weird.
They're doing something. I don't know.
That's so funny. Well, you'll never miss that line again. Never. As long as you live.
Never.
Okay. How about this? This is what I'd love to hear. Do you have like a treasured or a favorite Broadway icon that has influenced you in a way that's kind of profound? Or maybe just one. Maybe you just pick one. There's so many.
Yeah, so many.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Washington was on Broadway. Yeah, Denzel.
That's good.
To see that he even, goes back to Broadway and direct and produce and even get on the stage. A lot of people don't realize that's where it starts.
Sure.
That's where you really hone your craft and figure out who you are. Live theater, not anyone can do film, but when you do theater and have that foundation, that background, and you can go from, being big and bring it down, like it's amazing.
Yeah.
To see actors from theater go into film, because it's like, oh my God, like so intimate. And, I'm used to seeing this big person on stage, and to see them like hone in and just zone in and just have this intimate moment on film, it's amazing. But yeah, Denzel Washington, to watch him do that and still, remember his roots and go back to the stage and do what he does. Like, yeah, I want to be that type of artist.
Yeah. I love that.
Goes back and not afraid to say, no, I'm going to go back on stage. Yeah, I've done these movies or whatever. Yeah. But stage is where home is. And that's where I really was rooted in. That's where I learned my craft. That's where I perfected it,
Oh, good. Oh, Denzel. Yeah. Lord have grace. A national treasure. Okay, last question. And I actually ask everybody this in every series. And I actually learned this question from a priest that I love. And she said this one time. And you can answer this, by the way, Brandon, however you want. Like, this can be serious. It can be ridiculous. Like, it runs the gamut. So just you answer how you want. But her question is, what is saving your life right now?
Oh, my girls.
Yeah.
When I say my girls, my wife and my two daughters.
Yeah. Got a house of women.
Yes. Fruit snacks. Fruit snacks are saving my life.
It's a good one.
Sleep. Yeah. And water.
That's it. That's your tools.
That's it.
There it is.
That's saving my life right now.
Oh, I can't wait to look at pictures of your girls. They're at such sweet ages. Like, that's the cutest and the funniest. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Listen, you're a lucky dad. You are. It is hilarious to grow up in a house of girls. I was the oldest of four, and the top three of us were girls. And my dad, God love him, I mean, he just did the thing. He just did the thing. He's the best.
Look, I need some pointers. I need some tips.
Like... You do. Listen, it's coming. It's coming. You're going to learn more about living with women than you ever knew. But okay, listen, I just want to say that I am so excited for you. I'm so proud of you. It's thrilling to get to watch your star just continue to rise. And I hope that your experience on Broadway in The Lion King is just a little special piece of magic that you will always, always, always have in your whole life. And so next time I'm in New York, I will be in the audience to watch you. Next time, I will let you know, and that is a fact, Jack. So, thank you for making time for this show in this enormous week, and I hope your show tonight is amazing. It's just, I know how the audience members feel, so I'm so excited for them too, just to watch you come out and do what you do. So, good for you. Good for you. Can't wait to see you in that Chadwick movie too. Yeah.
Keep speaking it.
I am.
Keep speaking it.
I'm gonna. Thanks, Brandon. Great to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Okay, you guys. Fun, right? So fun. So fun. I can never tell if people are as delighted and enthusiastic about Broadway and Broadway performance as I am. But every single bit about it to me is exciting. It's magical, it's creative, it's moving, it's inspiring, it's beautiful to look at, it's beautiful to listen to. Like, I'll just never get enough of it. And so getting to to speak to these incredible, these talented performers who kind of bring us back behind the curtain and tell us what it's like is so fun for me. I love the Broadway series, you guys. The stars that we have in the series it's just dumb. Okay, so if you've missed any of them, go back. And by the way, you'll never miss an episode if you just subscribe. So wherever you listen to your podcast, just subscribe to the For the Love podcast and it'll show up for you every single week. Thank you, by the way, for doing that. We love our subscribers and thank you for all your reviews and your ratings. They mean we've read every single one of them. Every single one of them that has ever been written. And so I know that you're also loving the Broadway series too. So thanks for being nerdy with me and just as excited as I am. All right, you guys. Brandon, yay, Brandon. Love him so much. If you go to jenhatmaker.com under the podcast tab, I'll have all this stuff. I'll have the show notes. I'll have a link to the YouTube channel if you'd like to watch us talking. And then I'll have links to all of Brandon's socials. He's really fun to follow on social, by the way. Okay, more to come next week. You guys don't miss it. See you then.